Well, these days you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a chick singer in a metal band, but there was a time when certain walls had to be knocked down, and my guest today was a frontline soldier in that rock and roll war as the 15-year-old lead singer of the Runaways. By the time you were 17, you had 3 albums and a world tour under your belt, made the natural progression into acting, and starred in, among other things, Fox's The Cult Favorite with Jodie Foster. Eventually, of course, she became a chainsaw artist. We're going to talk about all that and more today with Cherie Currie. Cherie, I am so excited to have you here, the legendary Cherie. You must get sick of that legendary business, but
I think it's so fun that you would say such a thing, because my son, who is now a big rocker, I mean, well, he's just a great songwriter, and he's a great producer and singer, and he's got a great band called Maudlin Strangers, and like, record companies are falling all over themselves to sign him.
Oh, great.
And they just said in an article about his band that was playing, the son of legendary rock singer Cherie Currie, and I'm like, my son gets to have this in his article for what? That's so neat.
But what a weird dynamic to have your mother know more about the seamy underbelly of rock and roll than you do. I mean, you can't really say, you don't know what you're talking about. You do know what you're talking about. You've been there, done that.
Well, I took him on the road with me last year. He originally came out on the road as my guitar player. When we opened for Joan Jett at the Pacific Amphitheater in 2010. He was my guitar player with Matt Sorum and a couple other amazing guitar players.
Matt Sorum of Guns N' Roses.
Right, yes. Nick and Grant, who are Nick Mayberry and Grant Fitzpatrick. And anyway, so we continued on to the road, and Jake was my guitar player, then decided he wanted to be my drummer, and we got to tour all over the place, Canada and the United States. Now he's going on tour with his band, and he says, Mom, I know the ropes now. So.
And in all fairness, we should mention that Jake's father is the actor Robert Hayes of Airplane fame.
Babe.
Your ex-husband who you have a great relationship with.
Love you, babe.
How annoying is that?
How's Katie and Layla? He takes care of my dogs whenever he's my best friend. I love him. I call him my wonderful ex-husband.
That's awesome. Well, it's kind of a charmed life right now, but again, getting back to the seamy underbelly, as a public disclaimer for kids out there, if a creepy old guy approaches a young lady in a teen bar and says, I'm going to put you in a rock and roll band, maybe not such a good idea, but it worked out for you.
Well, it did, and you know,
15?
Wow, 15 years old, yes. Yeah. And you know, Kim hasn't been very well.
Kim Fowley?
Yeah, he actually lived with me for about a week and a half, and you know, you have to let go of all that stuff.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you, if it wouldn't have been for him, none of this, the Runaways wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened.
Absolutely.
So I'm far more, now that I'm older, 40 years older, I've got a son who's 24 years old. I'm just grateful.
That's cool. Well, you are the poster child for forgiveness and time heals, because really it's you're.
But aren't we all?
Well, hopefully, if we live long enough and let go of the bitterness, we do.
Yeah, we got to be. We got to be.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about this chainsaw artist business. What's that all about? I looked at your website. What's it? Chainsaw Chick. Chainsaw Chick.
CHICK, chainsaw.
Beautiful work.
Thank you very much.
But what inspires a lovely young lady to pick up a chainsaw and start hacking things up?
Well, it was just a fluke. I mean, I'd gone from being a sketch artist. Everything about art helped me in my life after the Runaways. And when I was a counselor for drug-addicted kids, I went to Price, Stern & Sloan as an artist to do children's books. And they said, how long have you been drawing? And I said, a year. And they said, how is that possible? Really? And so I told them about the Runaways, and the guys turned around and he goes, we've been looking for our first young adult book, and this is it. So that's how Neon Angel, the original paperback, happened. But anyway, I went from that to painting, and then I painted a steer skull on a table, and I got it carved that out, so I became a relief carver, and then was passing some guys on the road that were doing chainsaw carving, and I could not get it out of my head. I couldn't. Every morning I woke up, every night I went to bed, we said, gotta go back, and I did. And I saw these beautiful mermaids and dolphins and seals, and it was just so gorgeous. They weren't the crude, you know, kind of lumberjack kind of thing you associate chainsaw carving with.
Right.
And I asked if I could apprentice there, and I started winning awards like almost right away, and competed in 2005 in 3 major competitions, and came up 7th in the world at one point. And, you know,
Unpredictable. That's crazy. Well, and again, we need to reflect on the Runaways legacy. The movie came out a couple years ago with Kristen Stewart and Dakota Fanning.
And Michael Shannon.
Okay, and Michael Shannon as Kim Fowley. He's great.
Yes.
Overall, very entertaining movie. How accurate was it? Was it accurate enough to suit you?
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, the actors off the map. I mean, Dakota's one of my favorite actresses of all time. I love Kristen. I thought she did a remarkable job as Joan. And Michael Shannon is phenomenal. I think, the directing was great. As far as, I mean, it was just really captured the 70s. Sigismonte is just amazing. She's an amazing director.
Okay.
And, the thing is, but how do you take almost 3 years of absolute madness and put it into 90 minutes?
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
So, I mean, in the end, I think that it was a glimpse into a relationship between me and Joan Jett.
Right,
And that's basically what it was.
Well, and what an incredible story. One of the other relationships in that story was your relationship with Lita Ford. She explained it when we talked to her that you guys were kind of like kids in the same class. You went to school together, but you didn't really hang out together. Fast forward almost 40 years. Now you guys are on much better terms. You're both adults and getting along. Last year released a Christmas single.
Yeah.
We're begging for more collaboration. Is it going to happen?
It's coming out next month. Lita has been such a great support to me. And when she reached out to me, I literally I just done a tour, flew in from Florida, got off the plane and went right to the studio to be surprised by this amazing Christmas single that she had written with Mitch Perry. And that's how badly I wanted to work with her, because I hadn't in 40 years.
Right.
And now my record is coming out that Kim Fowley produced 4 songs on the record. In fact,
on the new record?
On my record that's coming out.
Okay.
And Lita's on 3. She actually co-produced one that Kim had written called Dark Worlds with my son. And we're doing a couple Runaway songs, doing a duet.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been an amazing ride to get to know her,
Yeah.
Because we were, I was 17 when I left the band, and we never really spoke after that, so.
That's so, and again, let's find out where can we find that music? It's going to be.
I'm putting it out myself.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Through your website, we'll be able to find it. Okay.
It'll be through Cherie Currie Direct.
Okay.
.com and on my Facebook page, and that's the way we're doing it right now.
Okay. And a tour to follow, a touring band?
Oh, yeah. Well, I toured all last year, and so I'm going to pick it up again after the record's out.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Australia and things like that, which I've never been.
Awesome. And what any acting in our future?
Maybe. We'll
Maybe.
see. I'm not a big fan of, I mean, it's hard work and it's a lot of dedication, and when you've been your own boss and a chainsaw carver for 14 years, I don't know if that's something I'm going to want to do again. We'll see.
Okay. Well,
it would have to be the right role.
As long as you're creating, we're happy with that. And you're autonomous, like you said, with your chainsaw and with your music, with your chainsaw and your music. That's great. Again, Neon Angel is still available. You guys can pick that up. What a great story you have of redemption, survival, forgiveness. It's all positive with you these days.
Well, I hope a lot of people have forgiven me, too.
Oh, of course.
Hi, this is Cherie Currie, and you're watching Psycho Babble TV.